Cocaine Bear is wild. In this video, I'm going to share a few reasons why it's crazy and enjoyable, and talk about why Hollywood is making more movies just like this one. By the way, there are spoilers ahead, just to let you know. So why does Cocaine Bear seem absurdly good? There are three aspects that I want to look at to explain why I left the theater feeling this way. And they are the slapstick comedy, the dialogue, and the practical effects in the film. Slapstick is a type of comedy that uses absurd situations and even violence to make audiences laugh. It doesn't always have to be deadly violence, but the point is to be over the top with the physical action. So a story about a 500-pound bear that gets high and goes on a rampage definitely fits that category. Most of the comedy comes from a completely CGI bear attacking a variety of characters in a forest. It is kind of surprising how intense the violence is because of how light the tone of the film is a lot of the time. So if you can't stand seeing blood, don't watch this movie. If you're sensitive to violence, don't watch this movie. If you can stand body parts being chewed off and flown around, you'll enjoy this movie. You weirdo. The scene that got the most laughs is when Ranger Liz accidentally shoots a teenager while aiming a gun at the bear. It's incredibly gory and incredibly stupid, and that's why the woman next to us in the theater laughed for about 5 minutes straight. She would not stop laughing. That scene pretty much sums up the slapstick comedy of the entire movie. Nobody wins, almost everyone goes out in a brutal way, and it's all played for laughs. The performances from the actors is not really the shining star here, but what is enjoyable is the on-the-nose dialogue. Most of the characters have lines that say the obvious information we already know, or they communicate exactly what they're thinking without even being subtle. At one point, Henry, who is one of the kids in the film, says,
"But you're safe. Bears can't climb trees."
Of course I can!
Then why are you up here?
The kids and the teenagers are hilarious with their very direct lines as they get caught up in the chaos of the forest. Also, Bob, who is the detective, he just made me laugh the most because he's so oblivious and just grumpy all of the time. There is a fair amount of profanity, with most of it being realistic as to just how people would react to a bear attack, but the profanity is also used for comedic effect because of the chaos and shock of the story.
There was a bear!
A bear?
It was
Hey, that's inappropriate.
The practical effects for this movie are honestly pretty solid. Of course, the bear and some of the extreme violence are gonna be computer generated, but a lot of the gore and action was done realistically. I haven't seen a ton of horror movies, but I can definitely appreciate when effects are done practically as opposed to having a visual effects artist create the effects digitally. For this movie, the use of fake blood and set design created some nice thriller moments, along with a few jump scares. One scene that was just over the top bloody is when Peter is getting attacked by the bear in a tree. You could tell the actor was hanging upside down on a branch and they were just pouring the fake blood on him for this scene. In the context of the movie, it's actually kind of terrifying, but for the actor and the crew, I'm sure it was just a really fun shoot.
Kinda seems like the thing that stays with the man forever.
And that's what's great about movie making. Think about the scariest scene in the creepiest horror movie. All you need to know is that it's a person in a costume. They got a little bit of makeup on. They probably have some smelly breath, okay? I hope that got rid of all of your movie nightmares. You're welcome. So why is Hollywood interested in faction comedy thrillers right now? First off, what the heck is faction? It's a genre in books and film that blend historical events or people with fake events and people. Take the words fact and fiction, put them together, and what have you got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. You got faction. Now, the story of the Cocaine Bear really happened in 1985 when drug-filled bags fell out of a plane into a Georgia national park. The bear that found the drugs didn't actually kill anyone and eventually died of an overdose, but the movie changes both of those elements to make for a wild story. So this movie is technically labeled as inspired by true events, because it's not 100% true. But this isn't the only movie in 2023 to be in the faction genre. Premiering in May, a movie called The Machine is based on the true story of comedian Bert Kreischer's brief time studying abroad in Russia. The trailer looks pretty wild and very similar to how Cocaine Bear was promoted. I'm like 95% sure that everyone who paid to see Cocaine Bear is gonna go see the machine, besides me. So that has me thinking, are film studios looking to do more faction comedies because they can label them based on a true story? We don't see comedies like Ace Ventura or Waterboy or Hot Rod like we used to. Those films relied on comedians to create wacky characters and absurd plots that are totally fictional. But I've noticed movies lately promoting how they combine fact and fiction together. But is a blended film genre like that going to last for a while? Or is it something that just comes and goes? I'm sure faction movies have been around for a while, but what does it mean for right now? Maybe it's to get more attention? Maybe audiences want more real-life stories on the big screen, even if they're only half real? What are your thoughts on the topic? Watch these suggested videos next if you want to see more content on my channel, and I'll see y'all later.